Hello everybody, and of course welcome back to Dickie's video where no war game remains unplayed. Further ado, here we are again with another edition of What Is On My Desk. This is of course the tabletop side of my online wargaming channel. Remember ladies, if you've not clicked that like and subscribe button, please consider now. Remember, I give unbiased views. I'm here because I like wargaming and I've got something good to say about every model I have and what I get into. So today we are looking at Nevermind the billhooks. Of course, with all the craziness in the world at the moment in time, yeah, people aren't wargaming enough, and there are rule sets being released, in the last year that probably haven't got enough headlines that I think they should have. And this is me having a glance at the rule book, and I'll tell you a little bit of a funny story that happened to me as well when I ordered this. So I ordered this in the last week, and this is of course 2021, the second 17. So I ordered the Nevermind. Before I get into the book, I'll tell this short story because it is quite nice, and I will give kudos back to Wargaming Illustrated, and the link in the channel to their magazine, really good. And I'm a subscriber, so there you go. So top bottom of it, I ordered a PDF version of the book and the physical tokens and the physical cards for the game. It said order complete, so I thought, oh, it's on its way. And I started thinking, oh, it's not turned up. I've got the PDF book, and it said completed. So I emailed this guy, and I think the guy was called Ian, and he said, I do apologise, Richard, that something went wrong in the technology, and of course they didn't send them out, but within a day, I mean, to be honest with you, it is in the same city or about where I live in the East Midlands. That's not going dud. And literally next day, he said, don't worry, we'll send it next day. And of course, I got a PDF version of the book already, but I actually got now a physical copy. So kudos to Wargaming Illustrated. And if you are interested in war games, of course, and sorted things like that, go and check them out because they are a really nice place. And I underused website really, because when I've looked at it, okay, so I do deviate, but kudos to War Games Illustrated. This is going to be a glance and of course a little bit of conversation about Nevermind the billhooks. I have invested in miniatures, but we'll do another video another day on that, and this will be part 2 of this video at some point. But of course, so this is Nevermind the billhooks, Wargaming Big Skirmishes of Small Battles of War of the Roses by Andy Callan. And to be honest with you, he's in my neck of the woods as well, so it's even funnier because they're not far, because I watched the videos on the Wargaming Illustrated YouTube page. So if you do Google that, you will see that a host of tutorials and videos. So we're looking at 28. So we're looking at War of the Roses, Plantagenet, Red Rose, White Rose, etc. God, I love Richard III. And I've got to do a Yorkist force and a Lancastrian. You know it's going to be true. Can't wait. So, the couple of things attract me. We're going to scroll down, or we're going to try and scroll down so you can see here. So we're going to have a look at the 10-point summary of this game. I'm highlighting all the good things. I've only looked at really good things that I like in this, and I'm a massive war gamer, and my background is of course Warhammer 8th edition veteran. Still play Warhammer 8th edition, Hell Caesar, Bolt Action, Battle Group, Field of Glory 15 mil, Flames of War. The list goes on. The list is Lord of the Rings, Gangs of Rome. That's kind of my set of wargaming miniatures. So we're going to look at the 10 points of Nevermind the billhooks. It is using D6 dice, 28 mils on a 6x4 table. You know that if you're a wargamer. You need around 100 figures per side. Figures are based preferably in groups of 8 horse, 12 foot. Multi-pace can be used if you need to. The way I'm going to do this, if you're watching this, I don't think it quotes in the book what size base to do them on. But I'm going to probably do mine on 20x20 standard Warhammer. And I'll do this in another video when you see me base my troops, and I'll show you what I got in another video as well, but that would be another thing to get into. And then I'm going to do in 12x12, and I've got a good place online where I do buy my bases for it, and I've got a good idea of what I'm going to do. So points were assigned, of course, by veterans, provises, which I think have defences for crossbowmen. So, of course, veterans are going to cost more than regular troops, etc. That's a generic thing for probably most war games. Turning cards dictates when the player goes first. As you see, I've got the cards here that I got from Wargaming Illustrated. Lovely set of cards. Of course, kudos to Wargaming Illustrated again, but kudos for, I think it's Perry Miniatures, for the right to use the pictures and stuff in there. I hope I'm quoting that right because they are very nice. Leaders then order units to take actions. So taking bits of other legacy games, I think you mentioned Sharp Practice, maybe a little bit of Hail Caesar in there sprinkled on there somewhere. Cards are also used throughout the game, special events and bonuses. They're brilliant. Standard troops move 6 in good going and can shoot a maximum of 15 inches. The game uses 2 dice to hit and dice to save combat. So if you're a wargamer, you're used to that. Same kind of thing with bolt action. Warhammer 8th edition again, hit, wound, hit, save, etc. So pretty strong rule set at the moment in time. Of course, by Andy Cullen. Hope I pronounced it. Of course, cover art is Peter Dennis. Used kind of permission to Perry Miniatures. And I'll put a link to Perry Miniatures there in the site as well to go and check that out. So I'll quickly give a bit of a paraphrase here. So Nevermind the Bullhooks, simple War of the Roses themed war game, pitched at a big skirmish, small battle level. The sort of thing you probably want a lot of time, particularly up around the Scottish border without troubling the chroniclers. The visual operation is Nimbley Green. Gloucestershire fought in 14 between the small private armies of Lords Berkeley. So there we go. We're going to be fighting each other, brother on brother. So I'll leave on there a little couple of seconds. So if you wanted to read that, I don't want to go too far. I want to go get to the nitty gritty rules. So of course we have a nice context. This book is very nice, I've got to say, and it's only 25 pages long. But of course, very lovely art. Of course, they're with the foot soldiers from I think these are Perry Miniatures. I think they are definitely Perry Miniatures. So we've got shooting, the tactics. So we're going to look at what you need to play. So of course, figures 28mm. I'm sure you could decrease the if you're a 20mm veteran and you could find 20mm medieval troops like that. I'm sure you could do that. You see, so lots of ordinary D6 dice. I'm going to buy some red dice. I think I've got red dice and white dice. So of course Yorks and Lancastrians. 3 decks of card which are here, and you do get them in the book to photocopy in the back. So, and also in the back you get your nice little table. You get 4 sets of tokens: Disarray, Daunted, Order for the Army Morale, which of course we have here. I can't remember which is which now. I think that's Army Morale, this one here. It's like a coin, I would say. I think it's like a king coin or something. Disarray is the 2 billhooks beside each other. Daunted is these are daunted, so the different levels of cohesion. I'd discuss that in. So there you go. These are of course from the Wargaming Illustrated website. MDF site, MDF, really nice. But they of course get them from somewhere else, which is on there. But regardless of that, very nice. So acrylic tokens, laminated decks, cards can be also purchased from Arcane Scenery. Arcane Scenery, that's the guy, Arcane Scenery. So I'll put that link in there. I'll put the free link. So Wargaming Illustrated, Arcane Scenery, which I think Andy Cullen was actually playing on the Wargames Illustrated site. So I think that's it. So that's where he works from. I think he's on wargamesillustrated.net, and I'll put all them links in the down below. Down there somewhere. This may be a 2-part video at some point. So how is the battle won? So the player kills the enemy CNC or retreats off the battlefield. So it makes sense. Your general's dead or you are broken, which I like that. It's kind of take the head off the snake kind of thing. And it's but I suppose in any battle you could tweak it the way you wanted it. A player takes all of his opponent's army morale tokens, and we'll see that as it goes. So army, unit, and organization. So this is what I like as well. Is when you make up a player's fighting force, which is made up of individual units, form wards, and wards form armies, so like companies and battalions, etc. So a unit of collective term could be combined in a group of friendly individual figures. A unit formed of one band or one more of companies, one squadron or one section. This depends on the troop type within that unit. So infantry, bands of 6 skirmishes, interval based, or in 2 skirmish can only be archers, crossbow, handgun, and kern. So them units can only be in bands. So you got 6 men, rifles, crossbows, handguns, and kerns operate in loose formation. So circular bases for the formation, or square bases. I don't think it particularly matters, but I think I'll do them on circles because you can buy probably nice little spaced out tokens for them. So companies formed 12 men, so it's 6-6, as you can see that picture to the bottom left right here, 6 and 6, 2 ranks of and then preferably individual based, or in 2s collectively mounted movement trays. 2s would be a good idea, but I'm going to do mine individual, and also it's slightly, I think I would like them individual for casualties. That's my preferability there. And maybe magnetised as well if I was getting a bit too... I'm tempted to magnetise them because I've got all the magnets actually. So company may be deployed in a single 12-man units or as pairs 2 times 12. So these are paired formations. And I like this. I like this rule. And it's like it comes back to playing Empire or playing against Empire in Warhammer 8th edition, where you have like archers and billmen or archers and spearmen together in companies providing protection. So the advantage of pair formations that it counts only as 1 unit. The purpose of receiving orders, a line of archers can shoot with 1 order, or the block of billmen can move with only 1 move order. More orders later. So you get that combined block, which I do like. So, combined blocks. Archers may form a combined block with a unit of billmen, pikemen, men at arms, thus forming 24 men unit, 12 archers, 12 billmen. Pikemen, men at arms. The archers then may shoot in the front unit or support the other unit from behind in melee. The drawback is that morale crisis test failure by the front may affect the one behind, which makes sense. If you're in one big block of men and shenanigans happen to the people in front of you, you think it is going to affect the guys in the rear. So I like that straight away. So straight away, I was attracted to this rule set because of the mix there. So as you can see, the combined block, you've got the 12 men in front. I think these look like they're based in blocks, in big blocks there, rather than in individuals. And of course, we do have an artillery section there. So there we go. So look at cavalry. We're looking at cavalry now. So made up of 8 mounted figures, preferably individually based or in 2s. Knights should be collectively mounted on 1 movement tray or in a single rank. So it makes sense. Expensive cavalry in 1 little rank. Artillery, it made up of 1 gun and 3 crew. So army restrictions, and I like this. This makes sense completely. It stops you just like mega being OP with it all. So archers and billmen must make at least half of the troop points in an English army, while skirmish in total more than 1/5. So there is restrictions there. The fact is you can't just hammer out these knights, because I've seen these mounted, dismounted men at arms, and they are beastie, and the knights are beastie. So, and I think it stops you just having all the cracked troops there. I'm thinking, well, I can just have all these cracked troops and they could just smash everybody to bits. So that makes complete sense to me. There's got a bit of a balanced army here. But also we look at troop quality. So the quality of the troops unit influence this fighting ability. Restrict actions, affect points value, which makes sense. Better troops are better quality. Skirmishes cavalry are always rated as retinue, so they are always generic. Infantry companies were rated as the follows: levy, retainers and mercenaries, veteran, household professionals. So as you go, you got your crap, you got your guys who are just there, and then you've got your experts who, of course, going to be more expensive. So armies can be subdivided into wards, with each ward being made up of a number of units controlled by a leader. So we've got a little bit of Hail Caesar there, I think. Kind of like a division. You got a division, or another wording of that, but still liking it. I love it so far. 1 leader should be chosen to command the C&C. He commanded both of his own ward and overall command of the army. So, of course, your general has his own division, but of course, then he commands everybody else at the same time. So they got a picture of 2 companies on the picture. You can see my mouse there. 2 companies, men at arms front line, really nice. And then of course, squadron of light horse. So if we come down to look at points value here. Individual troops figures are assigned point value in line with ability and quality. Point values are used in a way balanced in the game. 2 players fielding the army is made up of fine evenly matched. So 100 points per. So a total around 100 points per army make for a good size moving forward 2-player game. Because when you think about it here, if we look at now the points, we're looking at points 0 for your CNC, because your CNC, of course, is free, because he has to be a thing. So 1 point archer, handgun, artilleryman, 1 point light horse, 2. So as you go down, artillery piece is 6 points, but requires artilleryman. So how much is the artilleryman? Oh, requires 3 artillerymen. So is that? Oh yeah, so it's 6 points for the whole thing, but you can only have 1 anyway. So 6 points for 5 points for a leader. So you could probably get that, and then of course you just upgrade it as it goes, and you can have trenches, barricades, and everything like that so far. So just generic, pretty good studs there. Leaders, of course. So each player should aim to have between 2 or 4 leaders for the army. 2 or 3 units assigned to each leader forming a ward. So CNC is both a ward and the army commander. Leaders move between 8. So I wonder if there's a point deduction in, you see, a leader. So, I mean, would you put, I suppose, I'd like my general on a horse, Richard III on a horse, or Lord Callan, what it says here, he's on foot. So it doesn't say equipped to cover with stakes. It doesn't say does it cost anything to put a commander on a horse. Does it cost you? That's the question. Interesting. So I'm just seeing if there's a depiction between what it would cost to put somebody on a horse or what it always got to be able mounted. But I would like to think my commander in chief would be on a horse, and then the sub commanders would be, of course, on a on foot. But yeah, that's pretty good. So we have each player should aim between 2 of commanders. So each leader should be given a name. Players use your imagination. The rank, e.g. Lord Bennett, Captain Surgeon, Historical Inspirations, and these names should be written in the corresponding leader card on the play deck. So this is where we come to the play deck. And I will just go through here. So this is, of course, the play deck. So these are the cards will be used to determine what turn order goes on. So you got stuff like here, bonus. You can't particularly see that very well because my camera's rubbish. So draw a card from the bonus deck to immediately have continued. You've got, I think this is where it refers to your leaders. So we've got 1 card for the leader. The stars are how many hits you can take. So we've got, we've actually got quite a lot, actually. I thought I didn't have very many. So we've got 4 of each at the moment in time. So we can have 4 wards. Yeah, wards. And same for the Lancashire, but still pretty cards. So the stars equal the rank and how many hits you can take. So you've got, and of course there is, there are of course levels of commander here, which you can have, which really good. Really liking that rule set. Particularly, a pretty different. I like it because it's not like any other things I've seen before. So a leader names were written on it, of course. So the command class, this is where I like about it. And this brings a bit of Hell Caesar where you can randomize it a little bit. So of course we've got assume every leader command class 2, which is 2 stars. Unless the player wants to make a bit of a particular roll a d6. So on a 6 you get a class 3 hero, which is the best hero. Here, of course, you roll a 4, 5, and 6, you get class 2, and if you get a 1, you get adult. But your CNC can never be adult. So the role leaders can required to issue orders to their units, and they're able to rally wavering troops under their command. The risk to leaders cannot be deliberately targeted by melee or shooting, but it may be harmed the attached in a unit or suffers kills. So unlike normal troops, leaders can take more than 1 wound. They can be hit several times before dying, being removed from play. A leader has been the same number of wounds as his command and he's dead. So if he's a level 2, he gets 2 wounds. If he's level 1, he gets 1 wound. So we're going to stop this for the first kind of video looking at the rule set. So we just covered out the basics of billhooks here at the moment, because I'm going to keep going on and it's going to take ages. So I'll do a quick 20 minutes each video to go through some of the aspects. Really good so far. So click that like, subscribe button, check all the links below to the corresponding, and then we'll continue with the next look in the next video, which will be on the setup, and have a quick look at that. So see you later, folks, and have a great day wargaming, and bye-bye.